I just did a $5 million net worth portfolio update, and these 5 TikToks are going to make you very rich or completely broke. Let's find out which ones actually work. Look, I get sent hundreds of TikTok videos every single week, and 90% of them are absolutely garbage. These 5 represent everything that's right and wrong about the financial industry today. And I'm talking about the difference between working until you die or retiring before your kids go to college. All right, we're going to start with the spicy one.
Stop acting rich. You don't have any stinking money. Act like a broke person. Why? It's easy. You're a broke person. You make 60 or 90 or 160 a year and you got nothing. Nothing. No money. Payments coming out your ears, out of control, strutting around acting like you're something. In Texas, they call that big hat, no cattle. Stop it. I'm tired of being broke. I worked too stinking hard to be this broke. I put up with too much crap to be this broke. If people aren't making fun of you, you're probably not on track. Because people are stupid. People are broke. They Said and I Heard is the dumbest financial planning firm out there. Because if you look around, 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
All right, this is exactly why people love or hate Dave Ramsey, but here's the thing. He's not wrong about the first part. Let me show you something. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. The average car payment, $738. The average American can't cover a $400 emergency. But, and this is important, calling people stupid, that's where he loses me. It's not stupidity. It's 1, lack of education, 2, predatory marketing, and 3, wage stagnation. But you know what? His tough love approach does actually work. It wakes people up, which brings us to someone that shows you exactly how to invest that money.
This is how I would invest $1,000 if I were starting all over. This is day 1 of 30 of my lessons on finance. First, I'd invest $400 into an S&P 500 ETF like ticker symbols VOO or SPY. Now, this is typically the largest holding of any portfolio I start, and in the past 5 years, it is up 98%. Next, I would put $200 into QQQ. That's the ETF that tracks technology and growth stocks. And in the past 5 years, it's up 118%. Then I would put $300 into individual stocks. So I would pick 3 stocks and put $100 into each of them. You want individual companies that'll still be around in 40 years or more. So think of your companies like Apple, Meta, Nvidia, JP Morgan, etc. It's important not to buy any penny stocks or speculative stocks. Before I tell you what I would do with the last 100, make sure you're following me for another lesson tomorrow. All right, my last $100 is staying in a high yield savings account, earning interest and also waiting for opportunities. I think this split provides a lot of diversification to stocks via ETFs, as well as some concentration into long-term stable companies.
All right, now we're talking. This is close to how I started, but watch this. $1,000 invested like this with $100 added monthly for 30 years, that's almost $400,000. But here's what this TikToker didn't tell you. The order matters. In a high yield savings account, waiting for opportunity is cash drag and going to make you broke. Most people do this backwards. So number 1, emergency fund first. He missed this entirely. Number 2 is high interest debt. He missed this one entirely. Number 3, then invest. But his split, pretty solid. Let me break down why. The S&P 500, stable foundation. There is a lot of context behind that, and novice investors still get crushed by this fund. And so therefore, you have to go in the top right-hand corner and watch my other video on the 4 lies of the S&P 500. QQQM, that's a growth engine, but that comes with a lot of volatility, and you have to be aware of that. Individual stocks can be your learning laboratory. Here's the reality is you're probably going to lose anyway, unless you're a budget dog and you bet on Meta at $97. Which turned out to be pretty nice if you look at the chart since. And then the cash reserve and opportunity fund, the reality is those individuals, it's nearly impossible to time the market on the way in and on the way out. So I don't even waste my time because the statistics and the data show misery for that individual. But wait until you see how this next person completely contradicts this advice.
If I were to start over with my money in my 20s, these are the 3 index funds I would invest in. And this is coming from someone who's achieved financial freedom in their 20s. Number 1 is VOO. It's an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, which are the 500 largest companies in the US stock market. The main reason I want this in my portfolio is because of its stable and steady growth over time. Since 1926, the S&P 500 index has returned about 10% average every year, excluding inflation. Number 2 is QQQ. It's an ETF that focuses on the NASDAQ 100, which is very tech focused. So it includes things like Nvidia, Tesla, and Apple. The main reason I include this is because it's a much more higher risk, higher reward play in addition to the S&P 500. So it's a better fit if you are younger and you want to be more aggressive with your money. Number 3 is SCHD. It's an ETF that tracks really large, stable, dividend-paying companies like Verizon, Pfizer, and Coca-Cola. The main reason I have this in my portfolio is for a little bit more stability as well as passive income from the dividend payments. Which index fund do you want to learn more about? Let me know in the comments.
All right, this person gets it for the most part. But did you catch the subtle difference? TikTok 1 was 40% VU and 20% QQQ, but this TikTok adds SCHD for dividends. Here's the insider knowledge. I use both strategies kind of, because ages 20 to 30 is growth focused. So QQQM, which is cheaper than QQQ, is a really solid fund long term. Ages 30 to 40 balances out with VU itself. But if you're in your late 50s, early 60s, I think SCHD could play a role. I don't personally use it because I like total return, not just dividends, because dividends have a taxable impact. And so when I say I kind of use this strategy, it's because my balances are so large in my VTIs and VXUSs and VWOs. And because of that, I do get dividends. And I get paid roughly $50,000 passive per year, but I don't focus on the dividends. And I could probably 2 or 3x that if I was in something like SCHD. But that goes to tell you capital appreciation is way more important than just dividends. And your total return is both. And so I want to maximize both, especially early on. But a lot of people love the dividend game, but don't realize that's a small part of the equation and typically very tax inefficient. And you won't move as fast as someone like myself that utilizes low-cost ETFs for the long haul. And along with that, plus my meta stock, plus my Bitcoin, and between those 3 funds, I'm close to 20%, but not to mention my meta pick as well as Bitcoin, which soars me well above the actual average market. And I talk to people all the time about how to beat the average market while also taking a very standard approach. And if you follow me and you follow my strategies, you're going to get really rich. But this next TikToker, they're going to show you something that's either going to make you very rich or cost you everything.
These are the 8 stocks I'm investing in 2025. My account grew more than $200,000 in 2024, and my goal is to grow this account to $2 million in the next couple of years. First is Costco. Second is Walmart. Third is Visa. Fourth is MasterCard. Fifth is Amazon. And because I want to diversify, I'm dollar cost averaging SPY, buying more technology ETFs like QQQ, and investing in high dividend paying ETFs like SCHD. And if you don't know how to get started with investing this year, I'm hosting a beginner's investing class on Tuesday. And yes, it's free.
200K growth, okay, respect. I still beat that. But 8 individual stocks, let's talk about that. Warren Buffett says diversification is for people that don't know what they're doing. But he's Warren Buffett and you're not. And like my dad used to say, get used to a little disappointment in life. Keeps you humble. Costco, okay. Walmart, sure. MasterCard, it's basically the same bet. But here's what nobody's talking about. This person just gave you their exact strategy. And most gurus are going to ask you to be in their Discord to tell you what stock picks they're picking. So you can take the free advice, but here's the problem. You're missing so much context and you're not verifying everything. And this may not be applicable to you. And in fact, I guarantee it's not. Which brings me to the most important TikTok.
Do you want to be the first millionaire in your family? Here are my 3 best tips to help you achieve it. Number 1, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus that tell you need 20 to
Why is Guy breathing so hard? I'm just kidding, Robert. I love you.
50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit. Find a way just to save $50 to $100 a week starting out and let compounding do the rest. And number 2, you have to change your mindset. When you get money, rather than thinking about what can I buy, think about how can I invest it. And number 3, swap out 3 time sucks. You know what they are. And use that time to learn 2 new skill sets. If you do this for 3 to 6 months, you can easily add 2 more income streams and you'll be on your way. All right. So we have the plan. Let's go.
This is the one that changes everything. Forget the stock picks, forget the actual percentages. This person just gave you the actual investment. Start with $50 a week. That's 1 dinner out. The mindset shift from consumer to investor and a time investment. Learn to earn. You know what the real secret is? It's not the perfect portfolio. It's starting today with whatever you have. And you can do so by going in the show notes below and booking a free call with my team, because that's how people get rich. Because along with those that bought my national bestseller, that is exactly how people get rich. They build an automated financial plan to get their finances in order that takes no longer than 30 minutes per month to have extreme confidence and clarity. What more could you ask for? So which TikTok should you actually follow? Let's go through them. The 3 that you should follow is the $1,000 portfolio, but add the emergency fund. The index fund strategy, it's perfect for beginners. The millionaire mindset, this changes everything, but be cautious of the Dave Ramsey one. Take the wake-up call, but leave the judgment. And the 8 individual stocks, too risky unless you're experienced, and even then, it's probably too risky. So I just showed you 5 investment strategies that could make or break your financial future. If you want my personal portfolio breakdown that generated over $340,000 last year, I break it all down in this video right here in the top right-hand corner. But honestly, the biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong strategy. It's not starting at all. So pick one thing from this video today and take action right now. And I'll see you in the next one.